Tell me what you think, Yorkie. You think it's terrible? Is it horrible? I figured out the turbo button problem. I'm very proud of myself. And my Amy Winehouse ass hair today. So there is actually like a way you can set it, and it's by holding down the connect button and then clicking the button you want to be turbo. Except I'm just a fucking mess when I play games, so apparently I held it down and clicked the X button and just did it anyway. So I had to undo it. But I did it. I undid it. I'm smart enough to solve my own problems. It's amazing. Who knew that someone with estrogen could do that? Vic, I heard that. He goes, I had no idea. So today is Wednesday. There's not a lot of news that isn't just, hey, Trump is alive still, unfortunately. Internationally, there's not a bunch either, which is good, I guess. A slow news day is better than a terrible one. The bit in Twitch news is that they are creating applications for monetization programs and updating those, I believe, in a bid to catch people who are, quote unquote, not citizens. The Republican Party is still sucking Trump's dick by refusing to limit Iran war powers. There's that. The red state GOP chair of Texas, they just quit. So basically, Zem State, Texas, has so much Republican drama at any given time. It's bizarre. Like, the Texas Republican Party is collapsing in on itself. Whenever I go to look up the Republican Party, it's just like, and then Texas lit itself on fire. Dave Chappelle has also spoke up, and he's always had real borderline / awful trans jokes. Though you do see towards his later specials, he talks about his friend who he met, who became one of his closest friends, a transgender woman, who started to clear all of his jokes. But I think because he was Dave Chappelle, and not a trans person, they never, ever were funny. And he has now started to say that the Republicans are weaponizing his jokes and choosing to file libel suits, which is only a fraction of what that man needs to do for the trans community to make up for his bullshit. Though I do feel for him because his friendship with that particular woman seemed very sincere, and she died of AIDS not that long ago. We have more articles about Gen Z. Now 30% of them are neocons, and the other 70% want to kill themselves. Yeah, it's just not a great news day. The news that we do have is half-hearted at best. Shout out to Pickles, who followed while I wasn't live. Thank you. Today, I was made aware of a game called Scam Line. Yonners, another streamer, is challenging a streamer named Nether with 3 of her ace followers to destroy him in this game. Unbeknownst to her, I would like to take her crown. So what I'm going to need from y'all is I'm going to need 3 of you to acquire Scamline in some capacity and learn how to lie. Might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but by the end of May, I would like to put her in the ground. After I help her beat Nethers, of course. This will be the prime betrayal. She says she watches my VODs, so we'll find out if she really does, too. It's a win-win. Scamline is very much like, I don't know if you know the card game Coup, or a little bit like Among Us. There is a mole. I am not Dama. I am not Dama, and that is because I wanted to give Zote a rest. Actually, I sat there and thought about it and was like, that's kind of a spoiler. So if somebody just drops in, I'm sort of ruining it for them. So I decided I wasn't going to use it until, like, I'll use it celebrationally once I beat NKG for a day, right? But when I play privately, which I've been practicing some bosses privately, I use it. But I've shut it off otherwise, to not ruin the joy for others. Dama, I was just saying, and you might bring this up to Lexi, there is a game called Scamline. It's like a deception game. And a streamer I have gotten to know, Yonners, is choosing to challenge a different streamer and wants me to be on her team because I'm a shady bitch, which is appropriate. I'm great for these sorts of games. What I would like to do is be extra shady and assemble a team to destroy her once she destroys the other streamer. So, if anyone is interested, please take a look at that game. It's $5. It's money. But it will be money spent for my personal happiness and pettiness. I love Yonners, don't get me wrong. But I love winning more. So... Dama, recruit me, Lexi, and watch us crush her. You'll love it. No one knows whether Lexi's telling the truth or not. She's so fucking honest that everyone doubts her. She's perfect. So... yeah, you do have to talk. So if you're not comfortable being on mic... yeah, Theo, I thought of you immediately. I thought of the goth bitch who's gonna gaslight you after stepping on you. You do have to be on mic. So if you're not comfortable with that, I understand. But I literally immediately thought of you, Theo. I thought of PB, because PB's like an assassin in disguise. I thought of Lexi. Zem, you're way too honest. I don't think you could pull it off. Same with Vic. Vic would just be like, wait, I was supposed to lie? Oops. But I think, Theo, you strike me as a Chaos Gremlin. And that's really the energy you need for this, is Chaos Gremlin. So I'm putting that out there today. I'm gonna take most of it off stream because Yonners does say she watches my VODs. I don't believe her, but she says so. Basically, if you're in, reach out to me by, say, end of next week. I'll remind you about the thing deadline. And then we'll have a couple of practice sessions, probably live on a Sunday morning in my 1:30 slot. I was thinking of Tony, too. I thought Tony would be great. You know, we'll do some practice. and then we'll challenge her. And we'll crush her. You'll feel good. And we'll go back to being like a 1/6 of her size. I'm not cute and 5'1" and blonde and German, so, you know, I'm also really bitchy. I kid. We're gonna try and kill NKG today. For real. We were staggering him yesterday. Yesterday, just like my hands weren't working for some reason. It really was a bad, like, I knew I could do better. So today, I really feel good. I feel like today is the day for NKG. Tell me what you think, Yorkie. You think it's terrible? Is it horrible? Once again, we'll start with a Pantheon warm-up. I'm 5'6"? No, I'm 5'8", motherfucker. You just cut 2 inches off of me. Theo is like 6 something. Theo towers over us with hotness. That whole system is like, no wonder they can eat gods. They're just like a monument. I'm 5'8", and if you're feeling spicy, 5'9", because I have spine problems. It's like scoliosis, so when I'm fully stretched out, I'm 5'8" and 3/4, and when I'm not, I'm 5'7" and 3/4. So I usually tell people 5'9", just out of ego. I have decided. You're not average. Average for a man is 5'8", Vic. Yeah. Average for a femme is 5'4". And that's just in America. We're significantly taller than the rest of the world. Other than Northern Europe and China, which China's way taller than everyone thinks they are. They're like, Japan's short, that means China's short. Not true. Oh, fuck. Oh, I forgot to change my build. China... Women average 5'2", but men average 5'9". Yeah, I would say 5'6" is not that short either. Like, in all truth, I actually was explaining this to Germans the other day because they truly don't understand this. In fact, most young German women are super into short kings. I was trying to explain that this height thing in America is really kind of, it's almost overblown now. It's sort of this basic bitch straight girl that's into that. And at this point, nobody truly cares. If anything, like the gargantuan woman fetish kind of has switched over to men actively pursuing taller women, which used to be a thing. Like, if you were in heels and taller than a dude you were pursuing, that was not cute. Now it's sort of like, oh, you're taller than me in heels? Yes, please. So I just, like, especially in our older age group, the people who grew up with this stupid height bullshit, we're sort of over it. Unless, like I said, you're some sort of, like... This is a horrible stereotype. I feel bad even thinking of it this way, but some single mom in Kentucky who's looking for her third husband, who makes a lot of money. You do see it in dating profiles. I'm not saying it's gone, but I do feel like it's far less common than we've been made out to think. Ooh, hi. Except for black guys. Vic, you really got it rough, my dude. He just said, I know. My dude, there is an expectation for you, my guy. And you're 1 inch too short for it. Poor guy. Vic has real tall energy, though. So do you, Zim. I bet if you were in a room, I would, like, not think I was taller than you till I was standing next to you. People are often surprised, though, when they do see me for the first time, by how, in general, large I am. Because I am muscular, I am a power lifter, so I'm not cut. I have fat to support my weight. And I have an hourglass. Like, my hips are 42 versus, like, a 30 waist. So I end up looking very, like, intimidating. I've never been thinner than a size 8. So I have found that in general, when people do see me, they're like, wow, Hildy could kind of squish me. And that's not what I was expecting her to be able to lift me, but not squish me. So I definitely have a lot of empathy for shorter men in particular, because I do, when I date men, come off as incredibly too much physically. I've been told multiple times that I make them feel weird. I'm either too strong for them or too tall. I want to be clear, I am very fine with my body. I'm fine with whatever size it is, whenever it is. I've been very fat, I've been very strong, I've been very thin, and I've been happy almost always, except very fat. I didn't feel healthy, so I didn't like that much, not because I didn't like my body shape. Me and my friend Megan do use the term fat, and we use it on purpose, because fat is only used negatively, and that drives us nuts. Like, at some point, it's just realistic that you're fatter than someone, or that you're obese by a health thing. And for somebody to say, hi, PB, by the way, for someone to say, oh, you're not fat, you're just big boned, is like fucking weird. It's like telling an autistic person they're not autistic, they're just weird. Like, stop that. I can be happy and be fat. It's totally, it's absolutely possible. So if that does make you uncomfortable, I do want you to know that we're not using that in any way negatively, and it is not some sort of shade. And in general, I've always just defined fat as your health feels bad, right? I'm not really sure people understand what, men in particular, know what clothing size even looks like. Like, I've told Victor before in the past, at one point I was wearing like a size 16. And I was like, oh, I'm a size 16. And he was like, okay. And then he went and picked up a pair of size 10 pants and was like, these look like they'd fit you. And I was like, that is 6 sizes smaller. And he was like, what? And I was like, that is as big as my thigh right now. It doesn't help that companies don't have... Yeah, not using fat as a normal describer is a way to enforce this sort of performative physical hierarchy. You know, fat people can't be described because they're lesser. Yeah, we have no standardized sizes in women's clothes, so that's part of it. But also, the average female is size 14 in America. If you ask, and this was performed mostly on cis straight people, so that's not my audience, I would say. So you guys are all going to be like, well, I don't think that way. I mean, this was performed on, like, you know, Gary and Susan. Gary and Susan. Susan will be a size 14, and Gary will think she's a size 6. The average cis straight male says that his partner is a size 6, and his average partner is a size 14 in America. Which is just so incorrect. That it's almost terrifying. I did actually get really far with a pretty surprising build the other day, so I'm gonna lean into that, I think. BMI is hilarious. BMI is some of the worst math. It's very simple math, but like compared to the biological formulas you actually need to do to talk about like fat content, it's some of the worst fucking math. Weightlifting will make you resent BMI until you die. Especially those who are femme-bodied. And this is not even, it's not different at birth either, because it's estrogen that causes this sort of fat gain. It is impossible to fit the athletic fat standards for some femme-bodied people. It is literally like they would have to be anorexic. It is absurd, the level of weight loss they expect. Based on a really poor calculation. Which is why I'm not cut. I actually cannot get under 25 body fat, which is the very minimum of a quote-unquote athletic build where a femme will start to show muscle. I can't get under that without stopping to eat. I literally have to not eat.
Now displaying a message for YouTube.
I can tell you I was on the most cutting diet. I did not eat an ounce of fat. I was perfect. And I got to 25.2. And that was working out 5 hours a day. Bonkers levels. I don't know if I could lift you right now. My overheads are pretty weak right now. I haven't been working on them a lot because my lift was always the deadlift. So when I'm depressed and like a sore or potsy, I tend to focus on my lower body and my deadlifts more than anything. I'm the only bitch you know who never skips leg day. You could reach 25 or under, Theo. You know, and it's not universal either. There's a lot of people who could reach that. But I will say that, you know, I found there's just as many that can't. And in the weightlifting community, you start to feel really bad about it. Like, people are just like, oh, no lift people. is like, how do you measure it? You use an electric reader. It's not the most accurate, but it's pretty quick. There's some scales that actually shoot an electric pulse up through your foot. And essentially, electricity moves slower through fat than other portions of your body. So it measures how fast electricity is able to travel in a loop back to your hands or your feet. And it tends to give fairly accurate. They always have to know your height, though, because if it's measuring, you know, it's going a certain pace and you're measuring X, depending on your height, that will vastly change the resistance it reached. But in like a gym setting, if you're trying to do professional weightlifting, they have calipers. They literally take calipers to your thighs and they pinch off how much fat there is and they measure by the inches that they get, and they do it for every single body part. If you're an amateur in a gym with a personal trainer, they probably have like a little electronic thing you can hold with your hands, which is more accurate than standing on a scale. Aw. Ow, rude. Run right under him. It's fine. It's fine. Boo hiss. Bastard. I would really like to heal, but you are up in a bitch's space, you know? Okay. Yeah, whatever, motherfucker. I hate your face. Come at me, bro. Rude! Not like that. That was a lucky, like, land. Ah, well. That was just... all of that was just so sloppy. Come on, my guy. Let's end this. It has occurred to me more than once that it would be no small bit of in character that I would actually practice up to completing the first Pantheon instead of killing NKG. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get anywhere with that. Bastard! Get off my dick! Thank you. No, that was up in my grill. Rude. This is taking forever. Could we be done? Okay. That was far too much. Hi, guy. Bye, guy. Oro and Mato or whatever. Fucker. That was lucky. Oh, no, I'm out of soul. You cannot descending darkness without soul. Okay. I hate that there's two of you. Rude, 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 rude! Woo! I lived! Go! Yes! No! Alright. That wasn't bad. Now it's time.
Ma'am, someone has paid for your hydration.
It's time to fall off a cliff.
It seems someone is worried about your posture, ma'am.
And there should be a care package, Theo, that you can do. Hi, Neuro.
A care package is in transit to your location, ma'am.
But because Theo just did water and just did stretching, it's going to take a second. There's only so stretched my shoulders will go. Now we must make our way back to the Dirtmouth. Or Dartmouth, as I seem intent to constantly call it. The thing is, POTS is very Ehlers Danlos adjacent, like they're very comorbid. So I actually produce an outrageous amount of skin cells, but I'm not that flexible. And a friend of mine who has EDS has like weak sauce pots. It's very and that's really common. So it's really weak sauce. She was like, my doctors decided to test me for it. And they were like, well, you have it. But it's really just like if you were out of shape and you were standing up. The only reason we can notice it is because you're in shape. And I was like, oh, that's not me. When I was at my physical best, there's this exercise where you stand up with like a weight perpendicular to your body. I could do like 2 before I was like, I'm dying and I don't know why, because I can run for like 3 miles without breaking a sweat. In retrospect, I should have known there was something wrong, but I didn't know there was anything wrong back then. I just thought I was really bad at that exercise. Yeah, basically people with EDS are often tested for POTS. People with POTS are not often tested for EDS, but it's only because EDS has some really obvious symptoms, whereas POTS does not. So they can usually tell if you're someone who has EDS just by looking at you. But POTS, I don't know if you've ever heard of what they do to test POTS. I know Neuro probably has, because Neuro's a giant nerd. I did, Theo! I practiced it a lot. They strap you to a table. And they just turn you upwards. You're literally just like tabled, whonk, to see if your heart rate like spikes. They literally call it the table test, and it's intense. All right, you're gonna make me do this stupid thing. No. Intense, like camping? No, on a table. Oh, I see. You're making fun of my very subtle accent. Oh, I understand. I wasn't complaining about this. Was I? Did I unconsciously bitch? Oh, no, it's just that he always... No. It's that he always makes you have the child. I was bitching about how he makes me use the child. Because he's a fucker. Like, it's just 2 notch slots that you don't get. It's really annoying. I am the one making me do this, though. Because I'm stubborn. But yes, that's what I was complaining about. Because I could do so much with those 2 extra notch slots. And there is another notch slot I can get. But it requires so much. So very much. But I don't want to. Come on, Spicy V. Ooh. Auspicious start. Right into the fire. Excellent. Why does the repetition of notch slot sound so inappropriate? I mean, it's because if we're being exact about metaphors, they're all the notches on my belt in which I slot your names. Hooray! We're gonna take him to the gynecologist, I promise. I'm feeling good. Oh. I hate when I mess that one up, especially. Oh. Yes, smear his pap. Hello, Megan. How is your evening? Are you cooking dinner? Just take those old records off the shelf. Ooh, delicious. Oops. Too slow! I was inching too slow! Oh dear. Ooh! The superior allium, indeed. I agree. We have 2 staggers, Dama? Or 3? Thank you, Dama. Well, listen, if you're gonna hit me, I'm gonna take some of your skin too. That's just how it's gonna work. Oh, hey! That was a hit I don't normally get. Ah! 3 staggers, but he doesn't do anything new, so once you're getting to 1 stagger cleanly, it's just a matter of repetition. Well, except for his stupid... Well, it's not new for him, but he was like, hey, why don't I just throw some fireballs at you now? But there's no other moves I remember from him prior to this that would be introduced. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I should not try to get that hit. That's what I'm doing. I'm just no, like it'll just have to be the time that my reflexes are working properly because I know how to not get hit. Except for that one time. I wish you were here. I might go clip it from last time. He actually drilled from one side of the screen to the other, and I was like, that is nonsense. Was that just you're doing too good now? Oops, missed you. Right. Feeling pretty good about this one. Oops. She says. Ah! Ah! Man! There's a hit I know I can get in there now. that I am practicing. It's like right before he jumps, he like slashes out. You can, if you just back up, you can hit him. And hitting him as much as possible is pretty much the only way I'm gonna last 3 staggers. I don't have stamina. I'm like talking like an athlete here. I need the stamina. Right there. Except I still got hit, but... I actually have counted hits until stagger. Because I do the Howling Ghosts, I'm not exactly sure how many hits I'm getting in that, though. I'm not sure if he's taking all of them, is what I mean to say. Ah. Oof. It's not worth the risk right now. I believe a good Jafar was how it originally was. Like in the 1001 Nights, I think Iago, because it's kind of, it's like a, it's very related to Othello. And Jafar is a victim of Iago just as much as everyone else. Ha! I got it in. What was that? Spite? Fuck you, guy. No. No. The story of Aladdin that is referenced in it is like Aladdin the way that Disney did it. References Othello. And Othello's model is similar to the story in which there is. Yeah. Yeah. No. Sorry. I said that in a really weird way. That's on me. Okay. In any case, even if I said it wrong, I meant how I clarified. But Jafar has never been like the bad guy in the stories that it's based off of. He's been a neutral guy at best. Or the role that Jafar plays. Ah, too close.
Now displaying a message for YouTube.
Thanks, Trixie! Yes! Yes, PB. The original Aladdin story didn't have a villain role. It had, well, as close as like an advisor could be a villain role it did, but it didn't really. It was, the villain was society. And even then I could be remembering wrong. Too far away. Ow! Ah. You know, someone should just look up the original Aladdin story, like a summary of it. That way I can, like... if I'm talking out of my asshole, we can correct me and then we can be done. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so let's be very clear. Are we talking about Arabic Aladdin or Disney Aladdin? Okay, we're throwing this one. Arabic Aladdin did not have Robin Williams, so if we're talking only about Disney Aladdin, then the original story is Othello, and the original model for Othello is Chinese. Oh, goddamn. It's not great. Yes, Othello was a Moor. He was from Northern Africa. But the story that, yes, again, yes. The original story is a play in China about someone having to prove filial piety to their father before they can marry. Then, this was rewritten in, I believe, Persia, which was then retranslated in Italy, which then Shakespeare wrote Othello based off. Yeah. Almost all of Shakespeare's plays can be traced to something written in, like, 2 BC. You've got Tristan and Isolde. There's a Chinese play called Two Father-in-Laws. But tropes and plays is nothing new. This doesn't disqualify Shakespeare from anything. It's more, you know, because he's told the version that lasted the test of time, right? So it's much more... What about Much Ado About Nothing does actually have a base, and I don't remember. But it's more that, like, these tropes have been being told again and again and again in theater. And Shakespeare just modified them for his current audience. PB, did you look up the thing, though? Because about Aladdin, I know Disney's Aladdin is Othello. But, like, normal-ass Aladdin is, I'm feeling like I'm not correct on. This is Glorp shit, by the way. I'm very bad at it. But you should have seen how bad I was at it a while ago. Okay. You know, a lot of people say that. Pretty much anyone who has stopped by from, like, the Hollow Knight community has said, I never beat this guy. It's only Dama and Lexi that I know now who have beaten him. Of, like, all the people I know who've played Hollow Knight. The Peach Blossom Fan! Ah, that's the name of it. Yes! Ah, Theo did it too. Yeah, so essentially, Confucianism, well, pre-Confucianism, Taoism really prized the play. And I actually just learned it. Like, I would say in the past 3 months, I've learned about Chinese theater. And it's because of a video game. So before, it's just like, oh, Hildy knows everything. I played House of Legacy and there were a lot of plays in it. And I was like, I want to know about Chinese theater now. And, yeah. And then almost every play that was in House of Legacy ended up being a Disney movie. Like 7 or 8 permutations later. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh my god. We're just gonna restart. Like, they have the Peach Blossom Fan as something you can get for your... House of Legacy is like a village sim, kind of. It's like an ancient Chinese clan building sim. And you get all these different plays for your playhouse. You can get Mulan. But you can also get the Peach Blossom Fan. You can get the Son-in-Law. You can get Two Fathers-in-Law. You can get... Like, I think it's called the Jade Butterfly. And they have really, like, thorough summaries. It's actually really cool. But obviously Shakespeare couldn't speak Chinese. We know this. So there is a level of, you know, just tropes overlapping, people writing from themes and stories that they heard, or they're, you know, someone who spoke Chinese wrote an off, whatever the Globe Theater play that Shakespeare then saw and thought, I can do better. All sorts of different ways in which inspiration happens. Oh! An off-globe play on Mars. Oh, okay. So I was talking a little out of my ass, but not terribly. So Megan deserves a you were right, because she was like, no, it didn't have Aladdin in it. And I was like, I sort of thought it did. They're added in the French translation. Cyborg baby. But that does explain how I became mistaken. Which is a relief to me, because you never know whether you're just misremembering or you've lost your mind. Right? Like, you remember it being there, and then then someone's like, it's not there, and you're like, have I lost it? Is it time? Is it time for me? Do we need to take Hildy out to pasture? Nice to meet you, Nero. Rude. Damn it. Okay, Kibi. So the French translation was done by Antoine Galland in 1704, and the added stories were told to them in Paris by a Syrian storyteller named Hannah Diab. In the earliest versions of the story, Aladdin is Chinese. All the characters in the tale are also Chinese, apart from the wicked magician who is from North Africa. Which would explain the Moorish Othello eventually translating that way. I think one of the things about ancient Chinese society that we forget is that a lot of people didn't have to work. It was a very stratified society, but the clan system really created situations where even slaves didn't have to work a lot, and servants. So there was like a lot of dalliance time And because Taoism really valued poetry and creative arts, they were encouraged to just sit there and, like, they just had poetry salons. That's just something that they did. And it was considered common. It was rude to not have a poetry salon every few years. So, I think there is, because even in Japan, you don't quite get, like, you get a huge poetry culture, but it's specifically from, like, sages, you know? In China, it's everyone is writing poetry. Everyone is doing calligraphy. It's this weird dilettante society that only breaks because greed. People started to get sad that they weren't, like, because not everyone was fluent, right? Not everyone was literate. It was stratified in who could be creative. And you could think up all these things and tell all these stories, which a lot of lower class people did. But you couldn't necessarily write them down unless you hired someone from a clan who had education. So, it isn't until literacy becomes an actual issue that you see people having to work at all. Rich people, I wouldn't even call them rich. Some clans were constantly in debt. It was simply some sort of weird level of educational superiority that kept them on top. But especially during Taoist China, in particular, the production of art outstrips everything save, I think, Egypt. And Egypt loses a lot of it in the fire of Alexandria. So we have a lot more Chinese art than Egyptian art simply due to tragedy. Ah! No! No! Okay, we're gonna try one more time, and then we're gonna switch to 9 Years of Shadows. PB, it's kind of funny when I'm thinking about it. The 3 most popular stories from Arabian Nights were not even in the original Arabian Nights: Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Sinbad. Yeah, so part of the reason I asked PB to research was because PB grew up in a society where she would have been handed this book. I'm thinking back about the version of the story I read first, and it matched the Chinese version. There was a villain in it, but it wasn't the advisor. So I was wrong that there was no villain. The villain was just not the vizier. Yeah, the villain is always Iago, quote unquote, which is not the vizier per se in Othello. He's like the vizier's bro. Colonization. Oh, you're right. That was a wild assumption on my part. Hi, Miss Roy. How was stream? Ow. Sure. All right. Nope. Oh, that was close. Oh, hate it. Okay. All right. Damn it. No. Okay. Tighten up. Tighten up. Mystery stream was good and finished early. Kind of rage quit out of explobers for being too dang hard for not enough payoff. I love the concept, but man, it is punishing. To add to my previous comment, I did have access to subsets and translations of various stories from it and really bad TV shows about it. Yes, that's what I was. I am speaking all sorts of not correct today. Okay. That one hurt. I gotta. But should I? Because that was so much. Okay. I'm gonna do 2 more. I'm gonna do 2 more. Okay. 2 more. And then we're gonna run off. And, you're correct enough, but we collectively figured out all the info, almost as if there's a lot of ND people here. Almost, huh? We're all like, I have to know. Hi, Grim. Nice to see you again. How's the spicy vagina home working out for you? I know the market's been really, really awful. Ah! Man. Oh, shit. Hooray. Okay. 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 Ooh, yay! I was reading this vegan Bangladeshi site that PB sent me, which those of you in Discord saw. And they have this drink called Shorbort A Bell. And the bell is like this wood apple. It's like this weird squash apple. And it looks delicious. And apparently it has like natural cooling qualities or something. I was like, oh, I want that. Ah, rude. Woo! Ah, pay attention, Hildy. Ah. Okay, that's fine. Ah! Balls! Okay. Deep breath. There. No! No! Yeah, the little, like, fire thing is new for the second stage. Oh, wait. I actually have to do the thing. I feel it in my bones. I can do it. Yeah, NKG's boss music is a fucking banger indeed. Like, it's very enjoyable to rock out to for hours on end. I would say collectively it's now been 15 hours of NKG practice. The only comfort I get from this horrible world is that almost no one has beat him. Oh god. Oh fuck. Okay, we're just gonna throw this one. Alright. Care package that was redeemed a while ago. That was a little dangerous, actually. I probably shouldn't stand up midstream. With pots, you never know whether you're just gonna go down. I think that would be horrible for someone to see, is just me go down. I would not want to do that to anyone. Yeah. Like, I haven't been dizzy yet today, and I haven't had, like, really bad heart problems. But just because I'm confident I won't go down doesn't mean I won't. So... hate when he's got me against a wall for that one. All right, now we're gonna switch games. Now we're gonna switch. We're having diminishing returns.